Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here. I am getting ready to head over to Home Depot and get some plants to prepare for my warmer weather, kind of leading into the hot season garden. It is mid-February right now, 2021 in the Phoenix area, so I'm just gonna head out there and see what I can grab and just sort of bring you along and show you exactly what I'm planting and what I'm getting and hopefully be helpful at all. So let's get right over there. Okay, I am here at Home Depot and I'm grabbing some plants. I just want to show a couple things. First of all, it is not time for strawberries. These will die a fiery death if you put them out right now. Second of all, here's romaine lettuce. It is bolting in the thing. If you see the lettuce getting really tall like this, that's bolting. Don't buy that one. All right, if you want to plant something right now, get some rosemary too, for real. Plant it on the west side of any of your garden beds and it'll grow nice and big and help shade them in the summer sun. And it will produce a giant plant that's gonna last you for years and years and years. So I've got a couple of these growing on the west side of two of my beds, and they have been doing great protecting my plants from the harshest summer sun. And so I really highly recommend these guys for your planning for your summer gardens. All right, here's another one I want to show really fast. It's the broccoli. So you would look at that and think, oh look, it's already forming a broccoli, but it's not. This is bolting. This is getting really tall. It's just gonna set seed. It's not gonna form a broccoli head at this point. Same thing here with this pak choi. So anytime you see a plant starting to do this almost all the time, that means it's bolting. It's setting seed now. So the nutrition is going away from the leaves, and also the leaves will get bitter. So this is a plant that's about to die. So you don't want to buy that. And there's another one right up here. This is when it's really difficult shopping. And like here, this is more just bolting broccoli. They start just getting really tall and shooting off their seeds. So if you want to come in here, you know, they'll charge you money for these plants that are just about to die. So that's why I'm wanting to point that out. All right, I ended up showing you a lot of examples of bolting plants. My original intention was to show you what I was getting, but there was too much I was seeing that I really felt like I needed to show visuals of things to look for when you're out purchasing. So keep in mind that Home Depot and Lowe's and the local big garden centers, they are not shopping based upon what is seasonally plantable here in the Phoenix area. They are going with like the home office. It's a central, you know, centrally decided thing where they look at the vast majority of what people are planting and using across the country at that time. And that is what pretty much all the stores will get. So here in the Phoenix area, we do get a lot of plants that people are planting at other places in the country, but it is not time to plant those plants here because even though it's only February, summer is like tomorrow, basically. So we need to be thinking about the fact that weather is going to start heating up drastically. And I'm not even talking about the hottest temperatures like 115, 120. I'm talking about even 100, 105. Plants get stressed, so they will bolt. And a lot of these plants are going to bolt and die before they produce anything. And so it's really important to know that. And also, yeah, like be able to recognize some bolted plants. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Anyway, like I said, I don't think that they're doing it on purpose. They're not like trying to cheat people. It's just the way the system is set up. And so it's really important to be knowledgeable so that you don't end up wasting a lot of money on something that isn't going to produce for you, especially if you live here. So I am getting ready to head home and I will show you what I did buy for my February and March planting. And yeah, we can go ahead and look at that. All right, so here's what I ended up getting. And so definitely focusing on a lot more food crops as I'm moving forward. Like I'm really good at greens. I mean, greens are just my thing. I have a lot of space I need to clear and whatnot. We'll kind of talk about that in a second too, but I want to have more substantial food, especially food that cuts down my grocery bill. So I'll kind of talk about that a little bit too. And so first off, tomatoes are kind of a super popular thing for people to plant. It is definitely time to be planting tomatoes right now, but only if you already have plants. It's not the time to be seeding in tomatoes. It's the time to plant tomato plants that are fully formed already. And so for me, this year, I'm not growing any indeterminate varieties of tomatoes. That means there's tomatoes that grow and will just keep producing vine after vine after vine for forever. You have to monitor suckers. It's a pain in the butt. So this year, and I've also heard that the determinate varieties of tomatoes, which means the plant has a fixed size and you do not prune it, because if you prune it, you are potentially getting rid of, potential harvest because you've cut the plant. So you want to make sure you're not cutting or pruning a determinate tomato variety. So those seem a little easier to work with, but here I got 3 plants, but actually it is 6. So this is something I do all of the time. I purposefully hunt for doubles so that you can get twice as many plants for the same amount of money. So there are my determinate tomatoes. And then because this year I'm absolutely not dealing with indeterminate tomatoes, here are the indeterminate tomatoes that I bought. I'm walking out of the store with these like, wait, what did I say? But anyway, I just happen to know, like I have a really good friend who grows, and I have grown these little yellow ones before, and they just they seem to do really well here. So I did go ahead and get a couple, actually 4 indeterminate tomato plants. So yeah, hopefully to bring in some significant amounts of tomatoes for canning my own tomatoes and, reducing my need for grocery store canned diced tomatoes and things like that. Because we eat a ton of tomatoes in our house. In recipes cooking, we do so much Mexican and Indian cooking, so I need a lot of tomatoes. And also, I got some red bell peppers. So same thing, double plants. So there's 4 plants here, but I only bought 2. And then I can kind of I have shown in past videos how I deal with splitting these. I have yet to lose a single plant splitting them like this. I know some people say, don't do it because it really hurts the plant to split it. And I don't know. I have not personally experienced that. Knock on wood, I guess. I just have always had success splitting them, so I still buy them like that. And so I've got 4 red bell pepper plants here, and then connected to that, strangely maybe, are 2 sage plants because, well, let me show you. Okay, it's because I have literally never had success growing any kind of pepper here ever. And here are my jalapenos. 2 beautiful jalapenos. They're huge. And they went through winter, so they're losing some leaves, but they've already got some gorgeous new growth on them. And I have found out because of my success with these jalapenos that peppers are perennials. So given the right circumstances and conditions, they will produce for years. So it is my hope and my prayer that I'll be able to figure out how to get those red bell peppers to produce as well as these. The only difference I can think of this year is that I planted them with a sage plant. So I don't know if that's what it was, but just in case, I bought sage to go with my brand new bell pepper plants. Okay, and then also, just in general, I'm grabbing some more herbs. It is time to plant some herbs, some Greek oregano and some catnip. I've never grown catnip before, but I'm hoping to get a nice place where it can grow kind of perennially. These are all perennials actually, I think except for the basil, if they have the right conditions. So over here are my beds that get the most shade. So I'm hoping to be turning these mainly into my medicinal herb garden beds as we're moving into these warmer months. And then this basil, I'll show you. I've said it a million times, so sorry if you've already heard me say it, but people get shocked every time I say it, so I keep saying it. So a lot of times when you buy a basil, look at that nice bushy plant. It's actually not. It's 3 plants. So see, if you look here, this is 3 distinct plants. The thing is, people don't know that you're supposed to prune your basil. So Adam always says basil is a hydra, and that's how you remember. So you can see here that there are already some nice brand new leaves coming off at this point. So basically what you want to do, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to wait until I plant them. I will pinch the basil off all the way here at the bottom where there's already brand new baby leaves right there. Hopefully you can see it. It's kind of blurry. I'm sorry. It's focusing on everything but the thing I want it to focus on. Then it'll shoot up to brand new branches. And then once those branches get up and you see that they've formed, you know, a nice pair of leaves and another stalk or whatever, then pinch it off there. Then it'll be 2 more branches. And if you continue to do that continuously around the plant, you'll end up with a giant bush of basil instead of one long tower of basil. So basil will just make you one tower, or it'll make a giant bush if you come back and you prune it like relentlessly and pinch off the tops, like here and here, you know, and then it'll make 2 more, and then pinch those off, and it'll make 2 more, and then pinch off, and it'll just like grow kind of exponentially. So just that's how you make your like few basil plants produce you a lot. And so a lot of times they sell basils in clumps like this. Like one time I bought a basil plant and it was 14 distinct basil plants in one pot because they're just trying to make it look bushy. So just FYI, if you can find that, you could get yourself a whole lot of basil. And then last, definitely not least at all, is my eggplants. They did not have the variety that I got last year, but this is a great time to do eggplants. In my experience, eggplant goes all the way through summer and it will produce the whole time. So I've got 6 eggplant plants here. None of them are doubles. I did find some doubles at the store, but the roots were like coming out the bottom and it was this huge mess. And I thought, you know what, these might be a little overgrown for me to try to split. Also, in my experience, the eggplant seems like a little bit more breaky than other plants. Just like the super technical term. So I didn't want to try splitting eggplant. But also because I know that these, if they followed the eggplants that I have gotten in the past, this is a Japanese variety of kind of a long eggplant. And if they follow that same pattern of my past eggplants, they will produce so many eggplants that I will absolutely make this money back, because, you know, eggplants actually are kind of expensive, and so are peppers. So I'm really hoping to establish a lot of peppers because those are expensive in the store. So sometimes, you know, like for instance, right now it is time to plant carrots, but you know, you can plant whatever you want to plant, but when your space is limited and your budget is limited, you might also think about how much does the thing cost in the store that you're planting. And then that way you end up actually making a dent in your budget. I'm not saying never plant stuff that's inexpensive, because obviously you want to know how to grow everything that you want to eat from the store. Ideally, figuring out how to grow that is like the best thing that you can do. But for now, for me personally too, with kind of, yeah, like I said, space, time is a little bit at a premium. I'm going to be focusing a lot of my efforts this year on huge yields, hopefully, of plants that tend to be a little bit pricier. So like in another couple months, I'm going to be seeding in a ton of edamame, probably at least 200 edamame plants, because again, that's a major source of protein for us, but also edamame is expensive in stores, right? Like it's not cheap. So there's definitely plenty of other things that are going to be going on out here. And then I want to bring you along if I can, but I thought I would start kind of early, and hopefully this is enough to get you started. So I am going to be clearing a whole bunch of beds. So it's another thing to think about for increasing the production of your garden. Almost ironically means being more willing to tear stuff out. So when it's time for a new season, like recognize like it is time for a new season. So all these old plants, they don't have enough time to produce at this point. So they need to go to make way for the plants that do have room to produce, rather than hoping that you're going to get production out of something that's not quite producing anymore. Or just, you know, getting rid of stuff that's not quite as productive for stuff that's more productive, and being a little bit more willing to manage it like that. And it feels so heartless. Like I feel really sad because I don't know, that's dumb. I know people would think that's dumb, but like I spend so much time nurturing these plants, and then it's like, oh, time's up, gotta cut you down and put some new ones in. But that's how you end up beginning to really start seeing some stuff coming into your garden. So I will be talking a lot more about my summer garden setup moving forward, so keep in tune for that. But for now, it's a perfect time to be planting some of these herbs, not cilantro. And tomato plants and pepper plants and eggplants. Eggplants are where it's at in summer production, you guys. For tomatoes, you're trying to keep them alive during summer. And if you can keep them alive during summer, they will produce again for you in the fall. And then also peppers are apparently perennials. So I'm gonna be trying to figure out where am I putting these peppers so that hopefully I never have to plant them again. That's my goal. So anyway, all right, that's gonna be it for me. Hopefully this was helpful at all. I will be planting these and bringing you along with that journey. And yeah, so hopefully, again, yeah, this was helpful. So I'm gonna go ahead and just end the outro. Like, why does it take me so long? So, okay, that's all. I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Talk to you guys later. Bye.